Yo, what's going on, guys?
Hi, guys.
I dropped my headphones, sorry. We're going live in about 2 minutes on Bondi Radio. If you don't have the Bondi Radio app, just download it from iTunes Store or Google Play, and you can listen to us live. If you're on commute in the car, if you're about to go in the car or something, you can listen to us.
In the car.
In the car. That's how we say it in Australia. In the car, mate. So, or watch us live on Facebook, guys. We've got a great show planned today. We've got my mate Naum coming in. He's a club manager at Fitness First, and he runs his own business as well. And he's passionate about the fitness industry, so he's going to be talking about risks at a young age.
Okay.
Which is awesome. And who's your guest you bring on board?
Adeline She is the creator of Eat This, Burn That.
Okay.
And she is a meal prep ninja. She's a full-time accountant.
I like ninjas.
But I know, she's a PT on her personal time, and she's got really a great way of planning your food, so you don't have to go out and eat at Deliveroo or Uber Eats. And
let's go live and talk about all this. Ready to go, guys?
Yes.
Pure Class A, high voltage, ultra live and direct. Bondi Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live down on Bondi Radio on the Weekend Wellness Show. This is Liam Zollo, your host. And wait, what's going on here? What's going on? I knew we were going to muck it up. We haven't got it right once. Me. We still got the music playing.
That's okay. It wouldn't be a show if you didn't do that.
We're still live. We're still live. I think we're still live anyway. Hello. We're still live anyway. Welcome to the Weekend Wellness Show. This is Liam Zollo, your host. I'm with my awesome co-host, Sheena Alexandra. How you going, Sheena?
I'm doing really well. Thanks, Liam. Thanks for that great intro.
Yeah. Look, I had it all planned this week.
I know. Should we do it again? No.
There we go. I think we're live now.
Oh, now we're live. See, you're teasing us.
I'm teasing us. I think we're live now.
I think we need to redo it.
Do you reckon we should redo it? Should we just do the whole thing and go, nah.
Let's just roll.
Well, look, that's what happens when you have a week off.
I know. I missed you last week. I didn't really know what to do with myself.
Yeah, see, that's what I have 1 week off, and then I keep the music playing, I start talking, I had an awesome intro, and then we had the mics down.
Oh, we.
Okay, me. I'll take responsibility for my actions there, guys and girls. That was me.
I'm gonna have to start shadowing you.
Look, I'm a fitness instructor. I'm not the whole thing with the DJ thing. Like, there's a lot of twisty knob things
absolutely.
Here, so it's all pretty challenging. But anyway, I'm super excited to be back.
Yes.
How's your week going?
Oh, it's been a busy week.
Yeah,
I just wanted to start off dedicating this show to Louise Hay, who passed away this week. Louise is actually one of those people in my life that has been a beacon of change for me.
Yep.
You know how we talk about Stacy being a beacon of change, Stacy from Life Design. If I didn't meet Stacy, you and I wouldn't be here today. Yep. And same with Louise Hay. I have to say, if I hadn't met her in 2012, I had a business day with her and 5 other women, and her and Cheryl Richardson, which is one of her business partners, and Reed Tracy came to Sydney, and I had purchased a day with them, and it was not cheap. It's actually a quite expensive day to sit there with them for the day and go through our business plans and find out, where they can help and where we can move the business forward. And at this time, I was 2 years into a business that I had been working on and spending money on. And as soon as they found out that I was separated from my husband, they took the conversation away from my business and onto my relationship with my husband and husband at the time. And they're like, well, do you see yourself in the future with him? And like, they really started asking some really personal, hard questions. And at the end of the conversation, they're just like, you have to get a divorce before you start your business. And I was shocked. At first I was like, wow, I can't believe this beautiful woman is telling me such strong advice. And I went away and I really thought about it, and a couple days later I asked for a divorce. And
really?
Yeah, so if I hadn't sat there with her for the time that I did, and if she hadn't brought up these really hard decisions, and really, I'm giving you the 2-second version of that, but there was a good 2 hours of talking about me and why I needed to go through the divorce if I was really serious about being an entrepreneur and starting my business. So I had to end that business, and it was the hardest thing to do. But I realize now that I'm back and I'm working on other things that was obviously had to happen, because there was no way I would have been able to go through what I did with my divorce as a business owner. You know, you have to put 100% of your time into being a business owner and entrepreneur, and you need 100% of your time to go through a divorce as well. So.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was awesome. She's a beautiful woman. She's the woman that sort of coined the affirmations. I thought we could just pull an affirmation on behalf of her just to start 100%. This show off. But here we've got some beautiful cards. You've done affirmations before.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah,
you wake up and you kind of meditate.
Say something nice to you.
You want to pull one?
All right, I'll go. I like blue.
Yeah, looks like a good one.
Looks like it's a good one. Okay, am I reading it?
Yeah, you're reading it.
I cross all bridges with joy and ease. The old unfolds into wonderful new experiences. My life gets better all the time. Hell yeah. I'm safe. It's only change.
Oh, that's happening with me this week.
Wow. So I read your one out then, didn't I?
No, that was yours. Yeah, that's true. Okay. My income is constantly increasing.
Whoa. Yay. Maybe we swap.
No, this one's mine.
No, swap. I want that one out.
I begin now today to open myself to ever-increasing prosperity.
Oh, wow.
That's happening to my life right now, actually.
Yeah.
I can't wait to tell you. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so R.I.P. Louise. She's beautiful.
Celebration.
Yeah, this is a celebration, and this is in honor of her, and she would be proud that we were pulling affirmations and talking about her.
Definitely.
And I'm gonna read her book again. Well, this is a book. I was on a trip, and I was not really in a good space, and it was probably about a year after I met her, and this book just popped out at me in the bookstore, and I picked it up, and this is You Can Create an Exceptional Life with her and Cheryl Richardson. And I just read that book probably within a couple of hours, and it just really, it changed my mindset and really gave me some tools to just think more positively, and it works. You know, the thoughts that you create in your head are actually become your reality, and she truly believed that. And when you saw her in person, she was just, you could tell she was just a positive, beautiful person that thought about thoughts all the time. We would say something in the group, and she'd say, watch the way you say that. Why don't you say it in a different way? And she really got me thinking about how important your thoughts are, and when you verbalize your thoughts. Yeah. So just to be conscious and aware of that. But So I'm going to read the book again, just because I think it's probably the appropriate time. And
well, it's in your head.
Yeah, and I'll be, I don't pull affirmation cards every day, but I think over the next few days, whilst we're going through some change, because I don't know about you, but life is going so quickly right now. It's hard to stay present.
It's hard to stay present. Yeah, it is very difficult, but you gotta say this old affirmation. Here's an affirmation for you.
What?
Make presence your present.
Oh, look
at
you!
That one?
That's so deep.
Do we reckon Louise Hay would like that one then?
She probably has one talking about the present being a present.
Damn it.
Yeah,
she probably came from her.
Yeah, probably did. So we're celebrating Louise.
Definitely,
life and honoring her. And
well, we're thinking of you, Louise Hay, and we're very excited that you had
the best part. I mean, I know that there's nothing good about this, but she passed away on Wayne Dyer's anniversary. Wayne Dyer is another guru in this space who passed away 2 years ago.
Wow!
And it's almost so perfect that she passed alongside him, and he was probably waiting there for her. And it's just a warming. Like if she would have passed it. At a different time, it wouldn't be so beautiful, but it's just a nice way to talk about the story. And
definitely. Well, that's a celebration for Louise Hay, and I wanted to chat to you guys and girls about training with a sports injury or training with an injury. And what frustrates me right now, and we talk about controversial things, not really controversial, but it's just things that frustrate me in the wellness world about therapists.
Okay.
Therapists have their place, right? So the prevention of these of diseases has their place.
Yeah.
And the fitness world have their place.
Yeah.
The problem is what I'm facing is, and I think it's getting better. It is getting better, but if therapists tell us to stop training when we've got an injury, I think that's a big no-no. And I think the repercussions or the flow-on effect is a lot larger than we actually think. Because if you think about it, if you get an injury, right? You get an injury, and your physio or chiro or someone tells you got to stop training, right? Then you go back, and then what that happens is you might have conversations with your family members, friends, saying, "Oh, I've got an injury, I can't train," and then what do people do? They go, "Oh,
take it easy.
Take it easy."
Rest.
But then what that does is that in an essence is a bad thing, because then you start playing you can play the victim card. I'm not saying you do, but people can play the victim card. And if you're playing the victim card, what happens? You get addicted to being a victim.
Yeah, thoughts, remember?
Oh, well, I'm going to get attention here because I'm injured, you know. So every time, and that's like that flow-on effect.
Yeah.
So what I feel as though that needs to happen is it needs to be a change, you know. You need to keep moving. No one ever said to stop breathing. Yeah. Did they?
No.
So that in essence, we're designed to keep moving no matter what. Yeah. You know, my experiences was I was at the Rabbitohs, South Sydney Rabbitohs. I know you don't know what rugby league is, but it's pretty popular around these areas. I shouldn't say South Sydney Rabbitohs in this in Bondi, because this is like South Sydney Rabbitohs hatred area.
Oh gosh.
We're in Bondi. We're like a Sydney Roosters area. That's where we are.
Okay.
Yep. But anyway, I was working there. Some rivalry there. But I was working at the Rabbitohs, and that was something that I worked on. And the good thing about the physios that I work with is that, and this is what a smart therapist will do, is they'll understand that the players need to keep moving, even if they're injured, because of for a mental thing, for a mental side of things, and for a physical. Because what happens is when you train with an injury, right, it actually, and I might have mentioned this previously in another episode, if you train with an injury, what happens if you've got a sore shoulder, then if you work in the other shoulder, the sore shoulder gets stimulated through the muscles, through the nervous system. So it's actually smarter to keep training even if you've got an injury on the one side.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, you know.
So what if you're in a cast? What if you're in like proper, you can't.
What cast? What was it?
Maybe your arm is broken and you've got a big plaster cast and you're standing like this and you can't move.
You got what?
Can't move.
You can't move.
No, you can't. You can't move, but you can't move the top left side of your body because your arm is plastered.
Plastered?
Yeah.
Well, you got another side, and you got two other legs.
You do.
So you can still keep moving. That's what I'm saying. And I'll give you an example. We had a guy come in, right, and he had a shoulder reconstruction.
Okay.
Shoulder reconstruction, that's like it's a full surgery. And then he had a knee reconstruction simultaneously. Right? And how do you train someone like that? Shoulder reconstruction on his left side, and then his right knee reconstruction on his right side. What do?
One muscle at a time?
One muscle at a time. Lift his finger.
I was going to say, like, you're sitting down and you're doing the right,
Similar.
and then...
Yeah, exactly right.
And then you're doing, like...
We got him doing boxing.
Oh, that's good.
One side boxing. So we got him doing straight out punch. We got him sitting down in a chair. Yeah. Right. This is a professional athlete. This guy played first grade for the Brisbane Broncos, like the top team. So we got this guy. I think at the time I was actually playing at the time, and I remember this. And what was fascinating about it is that we had him on the chair, and he wanted to have that victim mentality come up. Like, I'm injured, I can't do anything, I'm an invalid.
Yeah.
You know, that mentality. Like, nah, you're boxing. And they're like, how am I going to box on my left-hand side? How am I going to do this? Okay, you got a right arm, don't you? You know, so we made him do boxing, sitting down, and then we made him do, in between, we made him do like 20 punches on his right side, on his good side, not obviously on his bad side, and then made him do one-legged squats on his good side. So even if it was in a cast and he had the other leg that he couldn't move, he was still doing something. Yeah. So you're not going to give the best of yourself, but you're not having that victim mentality of saying to yourself, I can't do it. Yeah. You know?
So do you shower after you work out when you have a cast on?
Of course you do. You sweat
anyway. Have you ever showered with a cast on?
No.
No. Have you ever had a cast?
No.
No! Oh my God!
You have waterproof cast now, Sheena.
No,
you can't have waterproof.
Liam, if you've never worn a cast, you cannot say that you're going to want to work out and sweat.
People swim in a cast now. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen that.
Have you never seen that? Yeah, we have.
Okay, so I need to update my information on casts, because last time I had a cast, there was you had to put a plastic bag around it.
Oh, this must have been like 30 years ago then.
It wasn't.
No, we have...
Last time I had a cast, I actually ended up taking it off myself, and I was actually going to sell it on eBay because it was so stinky and gross. And I'm like,
why would someone buy that?
I don't know.
Oh, well, if you could sell it, then if you could sell if you can sell a stinky cast on eBay, you're an entrepreneur, my friend.
It was so gross.
That's selling
it was so gross, and I ended up just like doing away with it. But.
Yeah. Well, that's what the tips are first of all, don't fall into the trap of being a victim. You know, if you don't want to fall into the trap, then if you've got a shoulder reconstruction, you've got an elbow injury, you have 3 other limbs, you've got a torso and you've got a head, you can move.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
So what you do in this situation, if you're physio or chiro, or like, I've got a lot of friends that are in this area.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about my mates. They have the open mentality that they don't get people to stop moving. So that's a good thing. I'm just saying that some people, it's starting to come in a lot more now, like, I can't train, I'm injured.
Yeah.
So what you do is you ask your physio, what can I do?
Yeah.
You know, and if you're the personal trainer, for example, and then the clients say, I can't train with you anymore because I've got an injury, you say to them immediately, let me call your physio, if you're a personal trainer out there.
Right, wow. So it's coming from the physio, not coming from the doctor, that this advice?
Both.
Oh, right,
Both.
okay.
Because it's like rest. We just want to rest. We
Mm.
just want to rest. But we're designed to move. Our heart does not stop beating.
Yeah.
So if our heart does not stop beating, it's still moving all the time. Same with our lungs. We're breathing all the time. We can't stop. So that's why I'm frustrated.
But Liam, don't you think that there's any merit to healing? Like, when you sleep, you heal. So when you rest, you're healing. So how can you heal when you're working out?
Well, you're thinking of working out, getting a sweat up, and absolutely
That's right.
bashing yourself
That's what
all the
happens
time.
when you work out.
I'm saying move.
Oh, move.
You know, so
okay.
for example, Emily's brother, my girlfriend Emily,
Yeah.
plays for the USA rugby union team, and he
Okay.
just had a shoulder injury recently.
Yeah.
So what they did, that's why they're smart with the rugby guys. They know that they have to keep them moving, otherwise it's going to take so much longer to get them back. So what he does, what does he do? He can't do any lower body stuff.
Okay.
He goes hiking and walking.
Oh,
So he has a 10K hike.
that's good.
It's moving.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you have to go out and do boxing like we were doing.
Yeah.
You have to absolutely bash the person every single day, but
Yeah.
you keep them moving.
So you think it's a good thing to dedicate at least 1-2 hours a day, no matter what, to moving?
Just as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because if you sit down and then you're in the TV, you get in that trap of the 70% of the population who starts becoming obese and that stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying you will go down that path, but
Yeah.
it's just so easy because it's easy. Take a break.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah.
It's Kit Kat, It's the Kit
Yeah.
Kat thing. Take a break. No, it's not taking a break. We're
Yeah.
good. We're designed to move.
Yeah. I mean, I think I got a little bit of that when I was driving for Uber that one night. I was driving 5 hours then, and then the next day I drove to Ferrara, and I literally got ass ache, from sitting down for so long. But I mean, I don't sit down at my job, but I can imagine the people that sit down all day long will get ass ache as well. And if they're moving around, they're going to want to, move their blood and massage the areas that might have.
This is going down a dangerous path. We're going to have to bring a sire in for the sexologist to start talking about this stuff now, if we start massages and stuff like that. But that's what I just wanted to mention anyway, the injury world. You can still continue to move no matter what. Good. You just got to reinvent yourself, and you just got to keep moving.
That's good. Good advice there.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to. That's what it really frustrated me, that people started going, I'm injured. You've got to do something.
Yeah.
You can do something. Our body's designed to move. We can do, or something is always better than nothing.
Yeah.
And just off the tangent here, we've got 3 lifeguard girls.
Oh,
are
they
actual lifeguard girls, or are they? It's like a publicity thing going on. I'm not too sure here.
Like a
They've got a
charity.
Baywatch top.
Yeah,
charity thing. Anyway, okay. So we haven't even talked about too much about our guest. We're going to bring in our lovely guest. 25 past 11.
Yeah.
We're going to bring in Naum soon.
Naum.
My good friend. Look, why I want to bring Naum on the show, right?
Yeah.
Is because he's not directly my boss. His partner, his girlfriend partner, is my boss.
Oh, right, okay.
So she's the club manager of my gym, and so he's the same level in another gym. But what I found so interesting about Naum, and he'll explain a little bit more in detail when he comes on, his story is fascinating. He's like one of the youngest club managers in fitness first.
Oh, right, okay.
So to see what to go to his level at such a young age is remarkable.
So he's an entrepreneur as well.
He's an entrepreneur.
Wow.
He started off as a personal trainer, and then he moved into personal training manager, my role, and then he's moved into club manager. But he's 24 years old.
Oh my gosh.
He's 24
He's a baby.
He's 24 years old, Sheena.
Wow, that's
He's
awesome.
accomplished what I've accomplished in 11 years in the industry in like 4 years or something like that. So that's fascinating.
That's off to a great start, especially if he does have an entrepreneurial mind.
Definitely has an entrepreneurial mind, and he was, and I feel like I'm stealing his show here when he comes on, but he he had someone working for him in Fitness First as like a mentorship thing that you can do within like a year of being a personal trainer. So a year of being a personal trainer, he had someone essentially working for him.
Yeah. He's a good leader, and an entrepreneur. Yeah.
An entrepreneur now, he's a club manager. So we're going to bring him on. We're going to go to a song now.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to talk about?
No. I'm good. I'm totally good.
You good?
I'm really good.
All right, sweet. So we're going to go to a song, guys and girls. This is the Weekend Wellness Show. We'll be back in 5 minutes. You've got
I was going to just say, do you want to reiterate what our
Yes, I'll reiterate exactly why we're here. This is the Weekend Wellness Show. We are here to inspire the millions to help you become more of a confident, fearless version of yourself. That's from the Weekend Wellness Show on Bondi Radio. And we'll tell you more in detail why. I just said that with passion, and that'll be coming in the future.
Roll it.
Roll it through. Anyway, that's what we're here for. We want to help you become more of a confident, inspired version of yourself. Okay, so any way we can give the latest tips and trends to get that way, that's why we're here. Liam Zollo Sheena Alexandra. We'll be back in 5 minutes, guys and girls.
Broadcasting from the world-famous Bondi Beach, this is Bondi Radio.
Slow start.
Whatever, we're a little bit rusty.
It's a bit I'm rusty as.
This is a great song.
Yeah. Very rusty. Oh, now I understand where you're coming from. It's so loud.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It's really loud.
Okay, let's get ready for Naum.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
What? I'm going to just make sure that... Hi there. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Excited to chat. Just going to double check.
No worries.
Hey, man, what's happening?
Thanks for having me.
No worries, man. I'm so sorry I didn't give you a call yesterday.
Oh, mate, it's not a big deal.
To go through everything. Do you want some headphones?
What's best? Like, it's probably easier not to have headphones, right?
In a way, yeah. Sometimes, like, I just like to be able to hear myself.
I don't like that.
So then, if you don't like that, don't have the earphones. Yeah. The only suggestion is that just remember that you're about this far away. We can hear you clearly. Anything less than that, it sounds a bit like too distant in the background.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I listen to the headphones in, so I can hear myself speaking and see what the other viewers are listening to as well. But yeah, so people get comfortable and they start going back and they start chatting around. So anyway, you'll be fine, man.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. Well, I'm a little bit off camera.
It's a pretty cool setup.
It's cool, hey?
The beach and
yeah, it's awesome, man. It's like this is the best view, best place to be. Talking about wellness.
Just a little that way.
Me or
yeah.
you?
No, you have to scoot over just a tiny bit. You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, if I can
She gets demanding, doesn't she, on a Saturday morning? Cool, man.
That's it. That's cool.
Sweet.
Alrighty.
So you reckon we should go straight into it then?
Yeah, why not?
Right. Give me 10 seconds.
Where are you living?
Cool.
Rosebery. So like near Alexandria.
Okay.
Green Square. So yeah, this is heaps nice just to have this view.
Man, this is
It's
awesome.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just cruise, man. Just have a bit of fun with it. Just share your story. I don't know if you want me to share a little bit of what you said in the office that time.
Yeah.
Or
like,
you want to go for it?
Guide me because I've never done this before.
That's
but
fine,
yeah,
man.
once I get
Well,
going,
yeah,
I'll
well,
start chatting.
I think we should talk both about PT side of things and entrepreneurial side of things.
And then the
because that's
CrossFit
a really
at the
cool
end, see
thing.
if we can-
And CrossFit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of topics that we can cover.
Yeah.
We'll see where we go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Have a bit of fun
Is
with
there
it.
anything like? Do you have an offer at your
No,
club?
I'm just actually switching clubs. I'm in
Okay.
the middle. Like I just finished up at one club and I'm moving to another club
Okay.
in October. I don't really mind talking about that stuff. Like
Okay.
it's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Fitness first king, man. Look at you, 24 years old. 24, is it? Did I get it right?
I just turned 25.
Oh, I just turned 25.
okay.
But we'll call it 24.
We'll call it
next
24. Alright, let's go, guys.
Broadcasting from the world-famous Bondi Beach, this is Bondi Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live down on Bondi Radio. This is the Weekend Wellness Show, and I'm Liam Zollo, the host, with my awesome co-host Sheena Alexandra and our guest Naum. I got that all in one breath.
Yes, you did.
How good was that? That was a better one than the
Yeah.
first starting one, man. We had the microphones down at the start,
Really?
and I was like, welcome to the weekend wellness show. And I'm a bit
Pumping
rusty.
it out.
I had a week off last week, and it was no one could hear a thing that I was saying before. So, bit rusty, but we're back.
Yeah, you made it up on that second one.
Yeah,
so.
I'm super excited. Mate, I had to bring you on the show, man,
Yeah.
because we've had a connection since I first started at Fitness First. Your beautiful partner is my boss as well, so I've got to watch what I have to say here. So
And what's her name?
her name is Brooke Sanders.
Brooke, okay.
Yeah, so she's been awesome, mentored me into my role, been an absolute privilege to work with her, and then she brings Naum in, and I'm like, man, this guy's amazing. I have to just continue to chat with this guy.
Cool.
So anyway, I wanted to chat with him because he talked to me about this opportunity, or his first opportunity in Fitness First, and how it was a risky move.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to explain a little bit more in detail about that?
Yeah, no problem. So first of all, thanks for having me, Liam.
No worries.
But yeah, now that I sort of look back on it, I look back on it and I think, would I make the same moves? And, it was quite risky. But I think there's definitely a lot to learn from, how I started at Fitness First and, how it all sort of panned out. Essentially, I was in year 12, I was studying. I was working hard. I was doing all different topics, nothing to do with fitness. I was doing all your physics, chemistry, and maths sort of stuff. I was going towards an engineering degree, and then I just thought, the opportunity came about, and I just thought, I'm going to take a gap year. And I took a gap year, and about week 1 into my gap year, I got really bored.
As you do.
Yeah, it was just like literally week 1, I was sitting watching TV, just twiddling my thumbs, doing nothing.
Yeah.
And this ad came up on TV about the Australian Institute of Fitness, and I just didn't really think about it. I just thought, I just might head down there, check it out. I went down there, checked it out, and I signed myself up for the course on the day, right there and then. And I think the important thing was that I felt like it was the right thing for me. I didn't really overthink it, and I just sort of went for it. I smashed out the course in about 6 months, and I always knew that I wanted to work for Fitness First because from a young age, probably 14 years old, I was training at Fitness First, and I loved it, and no question in my mind I wanted to work for Fitness First. And yeah, just the opportunity came about. I applied for a job with Fitness First, and they offered me like a franchise PT position.
Yep.
And yeah, it was about probably $3,500 just to start up.
Yep.
And
That's what it is. It's a franchisee model.
Yeah.
Fitness First.
And I honestly maybe had like $10 in my bank account. But I don't know what came over me. I just said to my personal training manager, is it okay if I just pay in 3 weeks' time or 4 weeks' time? I've almost got the full money. I'm almost there, but if you give me 3 or 4 weeks, I'll have the full amount of money. And my personal training manager was, yeah, sure, no problems. Just get started, start building a business, and you can pay that money off. Yeah. In a couple of weeks. And I don't know how I thought it was going to work, because I think if I had the opportunity to do it again, I don't know if I would take such a big risk. But I just sort of did it, and didn't really think about it. I just went for it. I pushed hard. I was working maybe 5:30 in the morning till 9 p.m. every single day. I came Saturday, did the same things, came Sunday. I just spent all my time on the gym floor trying to talk to members, trying to get these clients. And, luckily within my first 3 weeks, I had 40 paid sessions, and it just sort of worked itself out.
40
paid sessions.
Now that is an entrepreneur right
40
there.
paid
That
sessions.
is awesome. That's hustle. That is so hustle. That is so good.
Yeah, and like when I was in it, like you don't realize like how good it is. You're sort of just like, this is just the norm. Yeah. And I think what set it all off is I used to just book complimentary sessions, and then with the aim of converting them.
Oh, see?
And
smart man.
Yeah.
Smart man.
And on my first day, I converted like my first 3 or 4 people like in a row. My first 4 complimentary sessions I converted. So I thought, this is the way it is. And I think just that created a lot of confidence, that I just went at it with confidence, and I was able to convert a lot of people. And I don't know how I did it, because
well, I was just gonna say, you probably got personal. How did you get personal? Did you talk to them about their personal stories? How was it? You approached them in a way that was obviously effective.
Because that's a challenge as well, by the way. Because if you got it in the back,
story.
If you've got it in the back of your mind, my story when I was going on the gym floor, my first thing on the gym floor was like 18 years old, and my PTM just said to go and smile. So I had this like fake smile, and I walked past the treadmill like, "Hi guys," and I went straight back in the locker room, and I was like, "Man, that didn't work at all." And then I went back out, and then I went to a girl and said to her...
And he picked up on her, right?
Well, not intentionally.
Totally picked up on her.
What I said was like, "Whoa, you're looking good." So that sounds sleazy, but you know what I'm like? I'm just I didn't mean it that way. I'm just we're trying to be innocent anyway. So then she looked at me like, oh my God, this guy's the biggest sleaze in the world. So that didn't work as well. So I had a lot of pain leading up to it, and it was mainly because I had it in the back of my mind that I had to get him as a client.
Yeah.
You know, do what I can to get him as a client, and my things didn't work. So how did you know what to say, and how did you push that in the back of your mind to try and get them as a client simultaneously, not looking desperate like a desperate car salesman? Did you have that about you at all?
Yeah, I think I did, and I think what added to it was I just had a lot less fear of failure about everything when I was 18, and a lot less care about things. So it didn't, I think the gravity of the situation wasn't really impacting me. Like I said, I did that thing where I said I'll pay back that $3,500, and it didn't really affect me. And I knew I had to get clients pretty quickly, but I think I just said to myself, you just got to do it. I just set daily targets for myself and what I thought I had to get each day. And it was funny because throughout any sort of journey that you go throughout life, if it's like a big audacious goal, there's always a lot of people trying to bring you down.
Always.
Because they think it's crazy. And I remember going out onto the gym floor, then coming back to the locker room, all the PTs saying to me, Naum, you're going to burn out, stop giving so many comps and all that sort of stuff, stop giving so many complimentary sessions. Next week when you come in, you're going to burn out because you're doing so many sessions. And I just thought to myself, you know what, I don't think I'm going to burn out, and this is what's going to help me to get my business to a good level. And I just sort of did it. And the other thing that personal trainers used to do back when I started is when they used to go out to the gym floor, they used to pick one person that looked overweight, go talk to that person, and then go back to his locker room, wait for half an hour till the whole gym floor changed, and go back out again, because they had a fear of people seeing them trying to get business. But I think it's no secret that personal trainers are there to get business. So I just said to myself, I think everyone does need personal training in one form or another. And I just said, why do I have to go out and talk to one person and go back, talk to another person and go back, where I'm going to get one complimentary session every hour, where I could literally go start from the front and just go person, and just talk to every single person. And what I used to just say is, hi, my name is Naum, I'm new here, I'm just trying to get to know a few members. What's your name, and what are you doing here? And the conversation kicked off, and after a while, I found out what their training goals were, how I could help them. And I said, look, obviously maybe their goals was to lose 5 kilos, and all they're doing is jumping on the treadmill every day. And I said to them, that's a great start, but what I'd recommend is doing this, that, and that. And they'd get really excited about it, because I'd sell the benefits of doing resistance training or circuit training. They get really excited about it. I'm like, look, Liam, if you don't mind, come in next week for free. I'll give you 1 hour session. I'll show you how to do all that sort of stuff. And at that point, they were like, that's awesome. Of course I'll come in. And they'll come in, and then after then, they'd want personal training.
It's an easy approach. It's not a sleazy way of doing things.
It's a great approach, because then you can be yourself for that hour. You don't have to put the pressure on yourself. They can get to know you. You're focused on them. It's a win-win. Well done.
And I truly, honestly believe what Naum said, everyone needs a personal trainer. Even personal trainers need personal trainers. So it's just, we're all here we all need fitness. So in order to have fitness, you need to have someone holding you accountable. Three things that I think that personal trainers need to implement, and that's why we need a trainer, is accountability, direction, and support. That's what we're lacking all the time, and that's why I feel as though that personal trainers and the necessity to everyone around. So I'm selling PT right now.
Well, Darcy's wife, he's a sales coach, and he's really awesome. And he said something this week was, your prospects don't want to be your friends. They want you to solve their problems. And you have to find out what their problems are. And that's the art of sales, is figuring out where their pain points are, and then persuading them that you're the best person to solve it. And it's a completely different outlook of what I had before, and now it's clear. But you were doing that exactly. You were having that time to talk to them, figuring out what their pain points were, and then
So do you think you could take the same risk, or what's the people, if someone to grow their business now, let's talk about it from the business side of things. If someone to grow their business, is that what you need, just to take that risk, or is it like my chips are all in? Because that's what it sounded like you did.
I think you do sometimes need that push, because then you just have that drive to really push and succeed. And I think if you research all the really successful business people in life, and people have really gone far, they have started sort of with nothing, and in that real situation of it's tough, and they really push hard, and then they come out at the end successful. And the other thing as well, with goal setting, if you set yourself a goal that's I want to want to do a bench press of 50 kilos, you're not going to be really motivated to get there because it's just like a small achievable goal. You're like, yeah, if I get there, it's cool. If I don't get it, it doesn't really matter because it's not really that big of a goal.
Definitely.
But if you set yourself some sort of a massive goal that seems a little bit out of reach, you'll be thinking to yourself, you know, if I do get there, it's going to feel amazing. You know, it's going to be hard to get there, but you're going to have that drive because it's something just out of reach and it's going to motivate you to actually achieve it.
Yeah.
And I think with goal setting as well, that's sort of the mistake that people make is sometimes they make their goals a little bit too close and you have to put them a little bit slightly out of reach and they'll actually drive you in a way to achieve it.
Definitely, I strongly agree. And that's with not just business, that's just with everyone. Like that's people within the gym, because you see people in the gym, they go, I want to lose a few kilos. I'm like, what does a few kilos look like? 3 kilos. When do you want to achieve that by? 10 weeks. I'm like, if they're going to have that goal, it's not going to be a long-term thing, you know?
Yeah. And when you set yourself a challenge, like doing a half marathon or a 50K walk or run, your mind changes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just your body, your mindset changes. And that's something that is...
Because you're like, holy crap, I'm in this. Yeah. That's what I used to do as well. With the marathon that I ran, I go, I want to run a marathon. And I only had 28 days of preparation because the marathon was in 28 days. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I'm booking it, and then I've never run a marathon before. Yeah. It's like, well, what do you do? How do you train? Yeah. How does a person train to get to a marathon in 28 days? And then the same thing is yourself. Like, people are coming up to me going, there's no way you're going to run a marathon. You're too top heavy. Yeah. Like, just those things. And it's not so much about listening to those people, it's blocking them out and seeing what you can do in that situation in order to succeed with that goal. Yeah. You know, don't you think that's
exactly right. And it's almost like people coming up to you and saying, that's too hard, it's too far, you're not going to achieve it. It's almost like an indicator that you're onto something good.
Exactly. Oh man, that's a good tip. Well done, man.
It's
that's
so
it.
True.
Yeah.
Like, because they see your success, they want a little bit of it, and they might knock you down because of it. And don't listen.
Yeah, don't listen to anyone, man. And, go do something unrealistic. Yeah. Wait, that doesn't sound too hectic.
At the end of the day, when you have only yourself to generate sales, I mean, it's about generating sales. Being an entrepreneur, you have to bring in sales. So when it gets to you're the only person responsible for that, you kind of do get creative, and you do start to see people in a different light. And this is about business. Yeah. And
and just on that as well, because. You know, we've had conversations before as well. You're very more analytical side of the brain. Yeah. So with Sheena, what she just said then, because I'm very creative. Yeah. I'm the other way. So how important is it to have both? Or do you think it's better to be more analytical? Yeah. Like numbers and going through that process, or is it better to be creative? Or do you reckon the numbers will bring creation?
Yeah, I'm always going to be on the more analytical side. That's just the way I am, and like even to this day, everything's just about a numbers game for me. Like even when I started as a personal trainer, I just thought, no matter how bad I am at converting people, no matter how good I am at certain things, if I book more complimentary sessions, I'm going to get more paid sessions. Like that's just the way I thought about it. I'm not a very creative person, but I try to be. Like the only creative outlet I have in my life is I like write a little bit of music and stuff like that. But in terms of creativity, I'm definitely more analytical, but I think both play a part.
Yeah,
they're both good.
It's mainly for a goal and then looking back on that goal, what you want to achieve. So I mean that's a creative thing in itself. So you knew that you wanted to be. Did you know that you wanted to be on 40 paid sessions in 3 weeks?
To be honest, like I didn't. I knew that I wanted to be like a successful personal trainer, and I know what it sort of felt like to be there. Be full. Be pretty busy with sessions. I never really defined that as 40 sessions. My first goal was just to pay off those upfront costs, and I got there pretty quickly. And then, once I hit the other goals and I had like enough sessions, and I knew I had enough sessions because I just felt busy and tired at the end of the day, and I literally couldn't book any more in. I started looking at other challenges, and that's sort of how it panned out. But I never. Now when I sit down and I make a goal, I will sit down and say, I want this many sessions. And because I think I was quite young and I didn't know too much about goal setting, I sort of just, I'll know when I'm successful. That's sort of, I just went by that.
Yeah. So you're working backwards. It's almost smarter.
Yeah, exactly.
You're working smarter, not as hard. Yeah. You had a question?
Can I ask, of your customers, you call them clients or clients? Of your clients, can you talk about a couple of goals that you help them achieve?
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to think of some of my biggest ones, and like I've had some like quite a different variety of clients. Like I've trained people that just want to maintain their results and figures, and I've had people that want dramatic weight loss, and I've actually had a client. This is probably the one that I want to talk about the most because, when she was younger, she was in a motorbike accident.
Wow.
We didn't achieve too many like significant physical results, but I think the most important thing that we achieved together was mental results. Like she was really struggling to get out of the house and do all that sort of stuff. She had a motorbike accident. She was in a wheelchair. She couldn't really move, and she started coming out to the gym, and the sessions were quite inconsistent to begin with. She would come out to one session and she would cancel a lot. She just struggled getting out of the house. She was just not in a good headspace. And we got it to the stage, we were training 2 or 3 times a week. She started heading out to parties. We actually did get her walking, not like fully, but she was getting there. And I think that's like the biggest progress. Like for me, weight loss is awesome and stuff like that, but I think the biggest impact that personal trainers can have is on sort of the mental headspace of their clients. Because if you spend, like, for example, if Liam wanted to lose 5 kilos, I could help him lose that 5 kilos, but what happens when I'm no longer his personal trainer? And if you haven't affected his mental headspace, he's not going to be able to, hold that off. He might just go back to his old ways and stuff like that.
So did you, in that case, did you have set milestones for her to achieve, like the walking, or was it more, did you give her a little bit more of a purpose? Like how did purpose come into that as well? Like giving them purpose again? Because if she's sitting in her house, she feels like that she's lacking purpose in her life. If she's lacking purpose, you're not going to be, you're going to be feeling down and depressed, and all those negative emotions start coming up.
It's kind of a snowball effect.
It's a snowball effect.
You got her out of the house.
So did you do it in increments? Like, okay, first step is we're going to get you out of the house.
Yeah.
Was that what it was? Or
I think my number one goal was just to build like a really good relationship with her, because I thought like if I never built a good relationship with her, I was never going to get anywhere. I never set the goal for her to start walking again. I thought that was going to be quite out of reach, and it just sort of happened, and we got there. But I think the biggest thing I knew from the beginning, like nothing's going to happen if I never build a good relationship. So we started building a good relationship, and I was stern on her a few times when she'd cancel my sessions, and I'd remind her of the benefits of this training. And our sessions, they were quite light sessions, a little bit of dumbbell work. There was not too much stuff that she could do, but it was more about the chat and having someone to talk to, and being a little bit more social, and having someone to chat to once or twice or 3 times a week. And I think that sort of journey to the gym and back and having someone to chat to eventually led to her taking steps and attending other things, which was amazing.
And that's awesome, because and the thing that I want to chat about as well, so he's got his clients, right? So he's helping people and become successful with clientele, but now he's a club manager. So now he has to manage staff, like personal trainers and membership consultants, to motivate them so that they can help people come on board to get personal training and come in.
So he's kind of doing what you're doing.
He's the one step above me.
Oh,
he's a club manager. That's what I was saying. His partner, Brooke, is my boss. So he's the Brooke in another gym, another Fitness First.
I see. It's all coming together. I thought you worked at Fitness First corporate, and that location was the corporate location, but that's just one location.
That's one gym. I'm the PT manager in one
understand.
gym. So I manage the personal trainers, and then the club manager manages everything in the club. So they manage the personal training managers, they manage the sales managers, they manage the
equipment as well, like
group
the
fitness managers. Well, that's both of us sort of. We work on in that one. So do you find that a transition? Do you find that difficult to manage clients and now manage staff?
Yeah, for sure. I think it took me like almost 3 years to like sort of get decent at it. I guess the transition started for me was, I was a personal trainer when I was younger for maybe 9 months at this point, and I was starting to get itchy feet with my business. Like it was full, I had clients, I was getting results, but I get to a point with everything in my life where I want more in my business, and in my career I always try to push for more. And I decided to take on an apprentice, so a personal trainer underneath me, and I think that was like my practice to becoming a manager, because right now you manage over 20 personal trainers.
24.
Yeah, 24.
Different personalities.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty tough. I started with one, and I found that super challenging, but it was awesome practice. And I think from then on, I knew that I wanted to become a personal training manager. And when I first started as a personal training manager, I pushed for the results so hard, and forgot about the people, and I learned some really harsh realities about management, and there was definitely some harsh lessons that I learned, but over time I grew and developed, and it was definitely a harsh transition from from being a personal trainer to a personal training manager, and then that was back in Adelaide.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I moved to Sydney to work as a personal training manager at St Leonard's.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I decided, you know, I do want to become a club manager, and then I took steps towards that. And I think personal training manager to assistant club manager to club manager weren't that tough of a transition. The most tough transition that I had was probably from personal trainer to personal training manager.
Yeah, so it's a tough transition because we do work for fitness. I mean, it's complicated to sort of talk about. So we work for fitness first, corporate, but we work in the gym.
Yeah.
So we'd like it. The best way to describe personal training manager is like I'm like a union rep for the personal trainers have their own franchisees. So. And then the club managers obviously just manage everything in the club there. So that's a hard transition though, going from PT to PTM. That's where I am now. I'm like Naum a few years. Like when was a personal training manager? A couple of years ago.
Oh, I was probably 19 when I first got the job.
See, like I'm 29. I almost said 30. I'm like, I forgot my age for a second. I must be getting old, man. So I'm 29 years old, and he was 19. 10 years earlier, he was in my role. Now. So that's how successful he's come in such a short period of time. Yeah. And it is a transition to go from that, you know, you're going from one of the boys who's one of the boys who's a personal trainer, I can have that larrikin, that attitude to managing these people. If they're doing something wrong, you've got to hold them, the franchisees accountable for it as well. So it is a challenging one, and it's good that you need to have a good support base around you. I'm lucky I've got you and Brooke.
Yeah, that definitely helps a lot. But like even when I was a personal trainer, I was still so fresh that I wasn't even like one of the boys. I wasn't really like full mates with anyone. Yeah. Some of them sort of almost hated me because they were like, oh, he must have such an easy start, or he must be getting so many leads that he didn't realise all the hard work that I put in. So there was half of the group weren't really on my side. Yeah. And I actually became the personal training manager at the club that I was a personal trainer at. It's not like I moved to a different club and had a fresh start. It was, you know, I did move up within the club, and that's what made it even more so challenging. And you know, I was 19. I looked like I haven't done a training session ever. Yeah. I was like 70, 75 kilos at my height. And you know, it was definitely hard to go from there. But I think I just had the same approach as I did with my client, and it was, you know, I focused on building some relationships with the PTs. Some relationships I had great with some of the PTs, and some not so great. And I think, like I said, I pushed on the results a little bit too high when I started, and that didn't go so well at the beginning. But I've learned from that, and you know, that's sort of helped me grow as well.
I'm gathering 3 tips from Naum right now. I don't know if he wants to share it with you. If you're going to get people pay for benefits, that's what he's saying right now. So that's how he became successful with the clientele. He builds good relationships and he goes all in. I'm gathering that. That's
goals.
his truth.
I think goals is a real
goes all in. Yeah, well, he chips all in, and he has that.
No fear.
No fear mentality.
Now I've developed a lot more fear, which sort of sucks.
Yeah.
But when I look back at my 18-year-old self, definitely I felt like I had no fear back then. Yeah.
So can I ask, where did you get your business advice, or like your business experience from? Because you kind of learned this on the go.
Yeah.
And have there been any real dark times or hard times in business besides moving? And how did you handle it?
Yeah, I guess like my dark times haven't been in my own business, but it's been like when I've been a personal training manager and the whole team's like been against me. Right. That's probably like my darkest time, and it's been bad at those points. Yeah, exactly. It can be so tough. Especially when you're like 19 and you've got like these 30-year-old bodybuilders that are like 3 times the size of you. It can be pretty intimidating. But I guess so with my business advice, it's weird because I never really got any business advice. I went to like the induction as a personal trainer. You get like a 3 or 4 day induction, and I really just listened. I wrote everything down. It's probably like the most studious I've ever been in my whole life. And I talked to my personal training manager, and I think because I didn't look into it too much and I didn't really think about it, I just focused on the basics, but I just went at the basics really hard, and I just did them to my full capability, and I think that's what made me successful. I've never really learned as many business skills until like later, until now. What I was doing, I didn't really realize what I was doing. I didn't really have a formula for it. You know, all I went off was what I learned in the 3 or 4 days at PT induction, which was a lot. But I didn't. It's not like I did a business degree or owned a business in the past, obviously. And it all sort of worked out. And you know, like Liam said, I focused on building those client relationships and, you know, adding value.
So now you're 25, conquering the world.
I wouldn't say that, but I think I love where I am at the moment.
That's good.
Yeah, and I love my job. It's great, and you know, there's definitely a lot more that I'd like to achieve and different areas that I'd like to go in. But definitely very happy with where I am at the moment.
And with the basics, like that translates into everything in terms of success. Like that, because I've got the opportunity now, and I've told you, I'm the under 20s Italian rugby league coach.
That's awesome.
So which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
but second year coaching, seriously don't know what I'm doing sometimes. But I've played the game a lot, so I should understand it. But what I try and do is implement the basics with the guys. And if you just, you know, for rugby league, I don't know if you're a rugby league fan, but you have 6 tackles. Hold the ball for 6 tackles, don't drop it. It's pretty simple, right? If you hold the ball more times than the other people are going to hold the ball, you're going to have more opportunity to score a try.
Exactly.
So it's really basic, and then so those elements, and even with professional rugby league clubs, the more people have like a simple game plan or a simplified version of where they want to go, they tend to get there. The people who overcomplicate things just think too much, and that's the message that I'm trying to get across. That you could try and saturate yourself with knowledge sometimes, and that leads to procrastination. So there's a quote there. I was going to say an affirmation. That's the wrong affirmation. The quote: "Saturation leads to procrastination." I believe so. Stick with the basics. I reckon that's awesome.
Exactly.
A lot of valuable tips here, Sheena.
Well, I was going to say, and I think like don't lose focus on sales. And I think the way that you've approached it, it's a perfect opportunity to meet people and to have that soft sell. You know, and you're going to be at the gym anyway. You may as well be talking to somebody that might be a potential client.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. I think when I look back on sort of my earlier journey, like the 2 biggest things that I can apply now that I should be applying is, you know, that fear of failure just really just stops people from achieving their goals. Like fear of failure itself, you know, you won't achieve your goals more likely with fear of failure than just actually doing it. If you do it, you'll have a chance of achieving it. But if you don't do it because of fear of failure, you're never going to be able to do it. And I think the other thing is because I was young, I didn't really think the things through. I sort of just felt it, and I just thought, you know, that's what I want to do. So I just went for it. That's other thing that people might be able to do.
Did you talk your way into fruition as well? Like, you know, people tend to talk about what they're doing as they're doing it. Like Conor McGregor, he's a good one. I mean, we're not going to go down the boxing road, Sheena. You don't have to worry about that one right now. But he's really great at telling people what he's going to do. And then he does it. So, but then I've heard a quote from Napoleon Hill, and I have it in my phone every day. Tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it. So he has a different mentality, Napoleon Hill, where he wrote that book in like 1930 or something like that. So he talks about Think and Grow Rich, obviously. So what elements do you think?
I'm actually reading that book right now.
Are you really? Awesome. So
I have the audiobook. The audiobook is really good.
I've listened. I did his course. There's a course you can do on YouTube, like a free course. It's Napoleon Hill is sitting in an office in a black and white. It's like black and white scene, and I sat there talking about studious. I was just sitting there like Napoleon Hill. This is amazing. So it has goes through his 17 success principles. But I remember a quote always stuck with me: tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it. Don't tell everyone what you're going to do, just show them first. So that's always a
and
good
then
message.
If you don't talk about it, you won't get the naysayers, right?
Exactly right. In a way. But did you feel as though that you talked your way into it, or are you more of a you showed the world?
I wouldn't say like I talked my way, but there was definitely a lot of self-talk that happened, which I think is really important when it comes to overcoming anything or achieving goals. I definitely like to just even now just prove myself first before just talking out loud, but the self-talk that goes on in my head is definitely really important. Because if you have someone that's going for a goal and all they're thinking is, oh, I'm not going to get there, I'm not going to get there, I'm not going to get there. Of course they're not going to get there, but you're just putting that in their mind. But if you, in your head, talk positively about the goal, and you know, you could do stuff like affirmations, or even when you're training and you're pushing hard through a workout, you know, that stuff, self-talk really does help a lot.
Self-talk does help a lot, and then because we learned about this in a mindfulness thing. Fitness First took us on a mindfulness workshop, last week, I think it was.
Yeah, last week, yeah.
That's where I made a big boo-boo as a personal training manager. Forgot to take my personal trainers to induction that day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Everyone makes mistakes. I've made worse mistakes, trust me.
Oh, really? I was the biggest. Just don't want to walk into the club the next day, one of those ones. But anyway, I lose track. 66 million thoughts, and I've said this on the show before.
Yes.
I think it's more around 80 million thoughts a day now with the advertising and Facebook and social media per day.
Yeah.
So, how do you control that amount of thoughts coming through your body? It's a habit. So you've got to talk to yourself and be. That's why I always talk about self-awareness as well.
Yeah.
You've got to have that essence of self-awareness. If I'm having a thought, then you start to look at yourself from a helicopter point of view. Yeah. That's how I like to look at things. Like if I've got a thought, I'm like, I can't do it, and then I answer myself straight away, boom, and I go, why can't I do it? And I answer that thought back. Yeah. You know, and usually what happens is that creates inner dialogue, which probably could be considered a crazy person. But simultaneously, what it does is shut that thought up that I can't do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And even if I have a continuing thought, like if I can't do it, 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 you can't get rid of the thought. Put it in an accent. Have you ever tried to do that one? Have a bit of humility around what you're doing. I'm telling you right now, I learned that on a course.
What's your favourite accent?
Oh, yeah.
Scottish.
Scottish. Do a Scottish accent. Oh, I can't do it, man.
I mean, I learned that just recently with my driver's license. And remember, I was telling you about I'm on good behavior now. And
she's a criminal, Mom. Don't talk to her, man.
We don't want to talk about it.
I've been there as well. I only just got my license back about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So we're the criminals.
Don't talk to me. I've had my license taken off me as well, so we're on the same club.
That's a normal thing. But I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to put it in my head, but I can sit there and I can think about what could happen in the future and get really, really nervous.
Exactly.
And then I could create my future by these thoughts. Or I can just pull it in and think about the now and how I feel now. And right this moment, I feel happy, I'm content, I have everything I need. And I keep remembering the thought that says, if you think about the past, you're depressed. If you think about the future, you're anxious. And if you think about the present, you're at peace.
Exactly right.
And that's exactly what I have to do now when I'm in the car. Because if I think about anything else on my good behavior, it might evolve into something that I don't want.
Yeah, a lot of mindfulness coaches give that recommendation, because if you think about the past, there's no point thinking about the past. It's happened. If you think about the future, it's not happened yet. You know, why are you stressing about it? You know, you've got to live in the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of the time, all of our needs are taken care of. If we wanted a beer, we can get a beer right now. If we wanted anything, not anything.
Almost everything. But I say this to Brooke as well when I'm in the club, mate, and I said it before, make presence your present.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's your present. That's your present to yourself, presence. But look, that's the best way to live. And with the thoughts that are coming through your head, you can only retain only a certain amount of those thoughts. But we have a thing, and I've mentioned it a couple of times before. I think it's called the reticular activity system, or the RAI in your head. That's like a filter, you know, it's like a water filter. You know how you pour water in the top of the water filter and then the water trickles down and then you're left with the filtered water? That filter is our reticular activity system. So if you pour a bunch of water in, right, the top of the, pour a bunch of good thoughts, negative thoughts, all those thoughts on top of the filter, the reticular activity system filters it down and then you're left with the end, you know, water, the clean water. But the problem is, that filter, if that's negative thoughts as a habit, if you have those negative thoughts as a continuous habit, then it's going to filter down into negative actions. That's how I think of it.
And do you remember that? Yeah, that's really good. But and going on that point, do you remember that experiment that you told me? I think it was you that told me about the vibration of negative thoughts is actually a darker color than the vibration of positive thoughts.
I think we listened to someone else told us in the radio show. I can't remember who that was.
Yeah, and I can just imagine that filter. If it was negative thoughts, it was probably a dark filter, and if it's positive thoughts, it's probably a lighter filter. You know.
Yeah, so exactly right. But
there's a heaviness to the words. I mean, even Louise used to say that there's a different vibration when you're saying words, and you know, I don't is different than I look forward to, or you know, just a different feeling of how it sounds. So
I completely agree, and that's why it needs to become a habit, and that's why have that essence of humility. I mean, it sounds silly, but if as I mentioned before, if you have an accent or something silly around the thought, then you can laugh at yourself, and then you're automatically bringing yourself up from that, you know. So I do it all the time. So if you see me burst into laughter and I'm not talking out loud, it's probably got a Scottish accent going every time I'm married.
The other thing with thoughts, and I heard it and I've researched it before, and have you guys heard of the 5-minute journal before?
No.
So it's just, I've been doing it for a month now, and I think it works wonders. So it's just channeling your thoughts at the beginning of the day in the right way. So there's 4 sections to this 5-minute journal, and I've just written it down on a piece of paper. You don't actually have to buy a 5-minute journal, but the first bit starts with I'm grateful for. And it's got 3 things, and Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. If you're grateful, you cannot be angry or upset at exactly the same time. Right. It's not physically possible. So every morning you start and you write down what you're grateful for. You know, you can write, I'm grateful for being alive, I'm grateful for having this amazing view at Bondi, or all that sort of stuff. And you just write down 3 things that pop into your mind, and you've already started off in this positive sense, and literally it makes your whole day a lot more positive. And then you write down 3 things. The other next bit is, you know, what 3 things or what could happen today that would make today amazing or great. And you write down 3 things, and that's sort of doing like a mini goal set for the day. So you'd write, you know, if we achieve this sales target, or if I do a good training session, or blah blah blah. If I spend time with Brooke, you know, that's what will make today great. Yeah. And then that's all you do. And at the end of the day, you sit down and you write, you know, what 3 things made today amazing, and you review. And at the last point, it's like, what would have made today better. And you just write 1 point, and then you just apply it for the next day. Wow. And that's it. And it takes like 5 minutes.
5-minute journal.
Yeah. That's training your RAI, reticular activity, RAS, sorry, the reticular activity system.
Yeah. When I first heard about it, I'm like, oh, it's just a bunch of nonsense. It's not really going to work. It's just,
it's too la-di-da.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. And I was like, all right, what have I got to lose? 2 minutes each morning, 2 minutes each night. I'm just going to do it. And honestly, like, it's made a big impact. And almost sometimes I write down, you know, there's 3 things that would make today amazing, and I write down something that's a little bit crazy, and sometimes it just happens in the day, and I'm like, you know, I don't know if it's anything to do with it, but just the 3 grateful things really work, because when you're in your day and someone makes you angry or something makes you upset, you actually automatically think back to those 3 things that made you grateful, and it's just easier to pull yourself out of it.
It filters out those negative thoughts as well.
Exactly right.
It sets your day up in a positive way straight away. Yeah. Abraham Hicks told you about that. I might have mentioned that a couple of times before. She always mentions that if you're too specific on something as well, that I'm only going to be happy if, you know, if I have this, then that's the time where you've got to get back to grateful and being grateful generally. Yeah. You know, just a general. If you're too specific, it's got to get back to general. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly right.
How long have you been doing the 5-minute journal for?
A month.
Oh, right.
And honestly, I feel like it's working wonders.
Awesome. I'm going to start.
Yeah, it's really straightforward. Like, you can buy the 5-minute journal. It's cheap, but you can just write down on a piece of paper. Yeah. You know, I'm grateful for 3 points. What would make today great? 3 points, and that's all you do in the morning. Yeah. And at night time, what made today amazing? 3 points. What could have made today better? That's it. 1 point. Wow. That's all you do, and that's it. Really straightforward, but I feel like it really makes a huge difference.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that now.
I'm going to do that too.
And I'm going to do that, and I'm going to ask, I know you're on holiday. One of you or Emily can do this, is my buddy as well. You always got to find a buddy with something like this when you first start a habit.
It's hard to do it every day.
It's hard to do it.
Sometimes be
you
hard
need you need that accountability and that support and that.
You can do it 90% of the days, but there's always that 7th day when you're rushing to work and you don't have time to do it. But I've forced myself to do it every single day.
That's find a buddy. I'm going to start it on Monday.
Yeah.
No. What better way to start it? Start it tomorrow.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, Monday's a crap day to start.
You can let me know how it went.
Yeah, and we don't like Mondays as much anymore after the mindfulness course, because they say that's a likely time to have a heart attack. Yeah. What about a mindfulness course saying that? It freaked me out when they said that. Yeah. But it's true though. Yeah. Because everyone's so anxious about
going back
to work on a Monday. So let's start it tomorrow and set our day up great. I love that. It's been an awesome opportunity to sit down and chat to you, Naum. Any final thoughts, Sheena?
Naum, let's talk about where can people get in touch with you? Where are you transitioning to? Yeah.
Yep. I guess the best place to get in contact with me is, I guess, on LinkedIn. Yeah. Contact me, so just search Naum Markov, Naum. Yeah. Markov. You know, you can visit me in person. I'm going to be working at Fitness First Maroubra.
My old stomping ground.
And that's pretty much it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Can you pull an affirmation card?
All right, I'll put this nice green one.
What do you got to do? You got to read the what is it?
The back first.
The back first. Yeah, you got to read the back first.
Okay. I now create a wonderful new job.
No way.
That's crazy. I'm totally open and receptive to a wonderful new position using my creative talents and abilities, working for and with people I love in a wonderful location and earning good money.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't that what's happening right now?
Exactly.
Excellent.
It's ridiculous.
Oh,
That's
man.
cool.
How funny
Louise
is that?
is even looking after us.
Looking after us right now. Well done. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hey, my mum just joined up at Fitness First. She's
Great.
my complimentary pass, Maroubra.
Awesome. I'll see you then.
Maroubra. See her down there. I'll make sure that she comes and say hello to
exactly.
Naum, the club manager. But you don't want to do that. You'll never get her out of the office. She'll just be chatting
She's
to you all the
awesome.
time.
Tina
She's
is
awesome.
great.
I don't
She's
mind a chat.
wonderful.
She'll love a chat. So she's starting her journey in the fitness industry. She doesn't like her gyms, so that's why she's in the fitness gym. She used to love doing boxing. So now if you can guide her on the liking gym scenario,
definitely.
that's a challenge at itself. So see if you can do it.
Yeah. Challenge accepted, yeah.
Challenge accepted, man. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Naum. We're going to go to a song, guys. We're going to bring in, who are we bringing in, Sheena?
Adeline
Adeline
Adeline yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm super excited about that one. Thank you so much,
Thank
Naum.
you. Thanks
you
for
have a
having me.
great holiday.
Thanks.
And I look forward to having many, many, many more chats with you about health and wellness in the future.
Beautiful.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks so much.
Bondi Beach. This is Bondi Radio.
Oh my god, look at there's a naked blow up.
Who is that? It's got someone's head on it.
What are they doing?
The bride is coming
Wow. Okay, cool.
in. Hey, this is Global Lip Service, which is it's a
Katie
health and
Turner.
wellness platform.
Brooke knows about it anyway. I brought her into the club. We're trying to get the guys on our PTs on there for it's free listing, and then people get to rate the trainers like a TripAdvisor.
For health and wellness.
But for health and wellness, so
It's really cool. I'll definitely jump onto it.
Yeah,
yeah, I've
absolutely.
got one in my office that I've meant to give out to the guys, spread the word.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll cut this
Another
out.
man, Naum.
We'll send it to you and we'll do some promotions after.
Thanks so much for having me. We just started chatting about
Yeah, we do have the full setup, and we've got the view as well. So you're gonna sit here, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off the Facebook and then restart it with your name.
I'm gonna take some Instagram story.
Hey guys, we're gonna wrap up now, and we're gonna get back on with Adeline. Just a few minutes. Thank you.